We're on eucalyptus now, and as I said before, lovely combination. You see that I have done a little here, but you're going to have a branch about like that, and then you're going to cut it and pop it in. Again, rather like before, make sure you've got the stem to go into the oasis, and work in and out. So move your wreath around so that you can make sure that you put the eucalyptus. There are two ways to do the eucalyptus. You could either do it in 3 or 4 areas of your wreath opposite each other. Sometimes I do that, especially if I'm using white carnations in other opposite areas. But today we're going to weave the eucalyptus through the holly and wherever you feel is nice. I put a little on the side, but mainly on the top, because I like to see it weaving along the top where the holly is. So once again, there's a nice piece there, and I'm even going to use the little sticky bits, the bits that are stick, and put that in, making sure that you are weaving it. Let me show you. Weaving it along where you can see. It's quite pretty having the little bits running through the holly of the eucalyptus. Got some nice bushy bits here, so look to see where your oasis is showing and pop it in. Now, just going to ask my helper to cut some wire in half for me. We've got, our wire is a little bit long. Our wire is going to now be used, I'm going to show you how to wire up. Now if you remember, we're now going to move on. This is the end of our foliage. So we should, if you pop that there, that's lovely, down here for the cones. We should now have just about finished with the actual foliage and the shaping. So we should really be ready now to put the, what I call special bits in. And that would be the cones, the ivy. So I think that is lovely. If you see, like I've just seen, oasis, then just get your eucalyptus. I'm going to choose this because this looks rather nice, and pop it in on the side there. Make sure it goes in well. Make sure it's going the way of the wreath, this way. If you have a little bit of holly leaf that's sort of shooting the other way, either take it out and see if you can put it in a better angle, or just cut it off. For instance, there's a leaf here going this way instead of that way, so I'm just going to make sure. There we go. Now I'm going to lift it up for you. See how the eucalyptus looks really nice against the deep of the holly. Now here's the ivy, and so if you remember, I said to you that we're going to take the we need 5 cones there. We're going to take the leaves off the ivy. So I'm just doing that, showing you how to do that, and leaving just the stem. Make sure that the stem is quite big, longish, so it's got good strength to go in. Where do you put it? Well, I'm going to put about 5 pieces. Just take this leaf off, and I'm going to put it where it's going to show here. Take it right in so it has a good drink of water. I think it's quite nice to keep little buds see, there's a little, we want 5, so that will be enough, I think, maybe one more. I love little buds, so I'm going to just put that on the side here. Now, holly might not be full of berries this year, but I have never seen, in all the time I've been doing wreaths, making wreaths, I have never seen the ivy berries so good as this year. Look at that, that is so lovely, and it's picking up, it's all purpley colours, and it'll be lovely with, if you decide to do white roses or red carnations. That's lovely, but it's also nice in our wreath today, just green. Very nice. So find where you can put it. I'm just going to show you where I put mine. I'm going to put some in here and some in there where you can see there's a few gaps. But so far we've just put it here and it's looking lovely. Make sure you take all the leaves off, and therefore you can show off your berries to the best advantage. If you feel very ambitious when you've done your wreath, you can carry on using this foliage and put some, say, 2 pieces of holly, 1 piece of yew. Don't have to use eucalyptus, you can just use your ivy berries and get a long piece of thick string, and you bunch those 3 foliages and maybe some rosemary, and you get a wire like this that we're going to use for the cones, short wire, so we've cut ours in half, and you bend it, and when you've got your little bunch of holly, yew, maybe rosemary and your ivy berries, you could even keep some of the leaves on your ivy, and those 4 foliages together and you make a little tiny bunch, not too big, but the stems you need, and then around the stems you wire and twist the bunch, so you're holding it like that with your bunch, and then you place it onto the side of your string and then twist some more wire along, which you can get from your flower shop, a very thin wire that looks like on a cotton reel, and you can make a garland. Very, very nice garland you can make, and that's very pretty. And if you want to, thread your white carnation or your red carnation through, or rose or something, very pretty on the mantelpiece. Just thought I'd let you know about that. But we're back now to the ivy. We're going to just put 3 or 4 more pieces in. And this, as I said, is the decorative bit. A lot of people don't use the ivy at Christmas, but I love it because of the lovely carol, holly and the ivy, and I love these berries, and I love the fact it's quite easy with the oasis to just pop them in. We're using about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to stop at 7, but I think if it was my own front door, I would do about 9. As I said before, with floristry, we use odd numbers. Right, now we're going to do some rose hip. I'm just going to keep that in case we need it. Now, this was brought in by a friend of mine yesterday from Loseley, and where she lives, and they're beautiful, they really are. You can always go up to Effingham or somewhere like that and find somewhere to park, and in the hedgerows you will find these rose hips. So we're going to pop a few in because I just love them. They're very, very pretty, and they bring, because we don't have too much berry this year, the rose hip is going to bring a little bit of warmth and colour. Again, as I said before, work towards the way of the wreath. I'm going to bunch these in 3 lots, but you can put them anywhere you want. When I say bunch them, I'm going to put a lot there and a lot opposite, or quite opposite, and then some there. I'm not going to put them all the way through. I'm just going to bunch them. And where I don't bunch them, where they're not bunched, I'll put my red carnations later. So I'll just turn this round to show you what I mean by bunching. They're all single, but I've put them together, all going the right way. when you start a reef, you think, oh my goodness, this is going wrong. I used to feel that a lot. But with slowly adding your decorative things, as I call them, makes you realise how important it is first to get the right shape for the reef and not have it too bushy and not have it floating all over the place, but keeping the shape, and also to bring all the different greens together. So really the foundation of a reef is very important, like it is with any cake or any recipe. Now that's bushed over there, so I'm going to bush it here. Just going to show you before it's bushed, as I call it, gathered or whatever you want to put. And then I'm going to put it here and then one here. So there we go. I'm going to put it in here. These have got lovely long stems. They're firm, but they're quite long, so you can put them in well. They're easy to go in. My friend said she was sorry, but she had to bring them as soon as she picked them, because she said if I kept them in my Muse little cottage where she lives in Loseley Park, she said her mice eat them. So isn't it interesting? It's not just birds that eat these lovely things, but she said in the past when she's had a box last year for us, half the box was ate by mice during the night. So she came straight from her walk finding these for us yesterday, and I must say they look lovely, don't they? But you can find them. I've picked them last year up at Effingham. In one of the lanes there I found some rose bushes. You know, there's lovely pink roses, wild roses, that on a summer's day we drive past and think, oh, what a lovely rose that is in the bush. Well, these are the hips from that particular rose bush. So nature's wonderful, isn't it? Provides for our reef, but also for mice. Now that's not popping in nicely, so I find another little place for it. There we go.